an expert listener. And he wasn't talking about people or just talking at people. He was like listening, trying to engage in dialogue and trying to find what your expectations were and what your skills were to make something come about. What can you do now? We've identified the problem now. How are you going to help contribute to the resolution of it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So he's looking for the best in everybody, no matter how people were perceiving themselves. He's looking at the best in you because he knows without that you can't break through. So you have to start somewhere. Overcoming the fear enough so you can make that initial step and then build on the success of that initial step.
When you say, Jimmy, look for the best, I can remember being new to this community and Mr. Porter giving me a tryout on the radio with the Martin Luther King Day one session in the basement of Cottage Street. And I can remember telling both Lou and Jimmy that I don't go on the radio, I can't be on the radio. And I remember him encouraging me to find my voice, to sit at that mic in a little circle in the basement of Cottage Street with my son, who was young then. And as we went down to the basement, he was going, "This is the radio station?" And I'm going, "That's what they tell me," And so we go down there, and from that point on, when you say that the station under the leadership of Mr. Porter and Mrs. Porter sought out the best in individuals and saw talent where the person may not even see the talent. This is what Mr. Porter did. I would not be on the radio. I think I feel comfortable going to any market, and if I need to apply for a job in my old age, if I can keep my voice strong, it's because the radio station gave me the opportunity to put many ideas together and move from that one show they were asking me to do and then another show. So this is a station that still really keeps that vision that Mr. Porter had in listening to people and offering opportunities to people and opportunities to the station. Right now, with the young people on the radio, through Zoe's Book Club, with the people that we're identifying and giving them an opportunity to understand the mic. Even on my show, the young students that I've had from UNI, they would not be able to do that in Gary and Chicago. Chicago's losing its stations. How could they do that there? Mr. Porter made a mark on many lives through this radio station. Yes. And I show up every day because I think he's in my room saying, "Sharon, it's time to go." Okay, and I get up and I come here. Lou Porter, this is our membership drive. This is our hope for the future. Yes. This is our vehicle to shape our own images. This is our moment. This is our moment to decide that we want to support something that leaves a mark on this greater Cedar Valley area, folks. Yes. And so we cannot take this for granted. What we have to do is to continue to move forward. So, as you listen to this, I'm going to ask that you reflect on what the station means to you, and what it has meant to your family. Warren, you mentioned the fact that we take things for granted because we become accustomed to them. I think that's why the divorce rate is so high, too, in this country, because you begin to take those things that are familiar to you for granted. I'm also wondering, too, as to perhaps us not knowing what it takes to run this station, because many of us weren't included in family finances to know what had to be paid, what bills had to be paid. A lot of us were sheltered from the struggles of our family, so we have no idea. We have kids now who believe that you get money simply by going to the ATM.
Yes.
And if you need money, so they don't understand, many of them, what it takes to operate a business, to operate a household, and to be a contributor to the operation of businesses and households, other than being consumers and going out and buying. And so we've got to change that thinking, I think, a little bit. So I want you to reflect on that here in the community.
Let us give our phone number here at KBBG, 319-234-1441. Please step to your phone and make that call. That's what this is all about, and this is where we'll be for the next several days. And to share with you those things that we sometimes don't get to share during the course of a working year, because we are working, but we try to think of some of the highlights, those that are serious and those that have been somewhat amusing. We've had to report on all kinds of things that have happened in our community, from the very best things like kids graduating from college to tragedies like the two young ladies from Evansdale who we're still hoping will be sent home. It is, as Sharon has said, as Dr. Clayton has said, we all know that we live on some kind of a budget. You have to have some knowledge of where you're going and how you're going to get there.
Yes.
And if you don't have that, the basics, it won't be very long before you'll be in trouble. We here at KBBG are no different. We have a budget that says you have to have this much money in order to carry on. You've got your staff to pay. You've got equipment to think about, buying equipment, repairing equipment, acquisition of programs. Michelle Martin, I don't know if you listen to her on KBBG, but she has a tremendous show, and that's considered a national show, and it's pretty expensive, it's pretty pricey. But we want to make sure that we are making available to the community all that we possibly can, in every area that we possibly can. And there's no free lunch out there. There's no free lunch. So when you hear these things on the air, it's because we've made every effort to bring that kind of program. It isn't by happenstance. We are determined through what we are responsible for, and I'm glad that you made that call, Warren. We want to be responsible. We want the radio station to be here. This is an actual legacy.
Yes.
How many businesses or people can we point to and say, this is what they left behind? The foundation for us to go forward. To do anything less would just not make sense, because radio is going to be more important than it has ever been. And I'm sure through the week that Dr. Clayton will talk about that, because she's really good on keeping up with who's going where and who's selling and who's lost control of the media and that kind of thing. And see, we just read that and then just keep on going. We read the article, oh my goodness, that's terrible. But we lay the article down, we don't do anything about it, we don't think about calling a meeting. We don't, we might be in danger of what? We might be in danger of losing this station, who knows?
Absolutely.
If we don't get the finance,
Well,
yes, we will. We're not magicians here, we don't make money here.
I think people need to realize
They
that
need to know that.
one of the reasons that black radio did not get off the ground early on was because advertisers were refusing and underwriters were refusing to put money into these black-owned stations, believing that, of course, they wouldn't get a bang for their buck. And that's why you had white on-air announcers sounding black on white-owned radio stations that you thought were black in the past. What's happening now is that the discriminatory practices in underwriting and advertising black radio and television is there, and it's being led from the top down, from the government down, when we start peeling back some of the discrepancies that are going on. So we are repeating. When we put those articles down and we don't pay attention to them, we're putting ourselves in the position of repeating the past and not moving forward, as Warren has suggested that this station has always done. And so the membership drive is a chance for the community to give testimony to the fact that they want to be the creators of their own images. They want to leave a legacy for their children, and they refuse to have the larger society dictate to whether we survive or not. I think that's very important. We've got to support what we cherish and not just think that it's going to grow like topsy, because we are still dealing with discriminatory practices on a national level in terms of supporting our voices and the ability to tell our own stories. We work hard for the money here at KBBG, and we work hard to bring you a product that is comparable to any other national radio station in the United States, and I say that with pride.
Yes.
Because the station does what it's supposed to do as a community-based public radio station. In fact, it is a model for other community-based radio stations. To think that the Corporation for Public Broadcasting would support something for 35 years that's not a model, get out of Dodge. Okay, let's play for real here. We have another guest in the station here.
Elsera.
Hello, my name is Elsera Greer.
Yes, the one and only Elsera Greer. This lady has made a name for herself already, and I really thank you for taking time to come by, Elsera. It's good to see you.
Good to see everyone too.
Yeah, you're going to be leaving the country for
The Czech Republic on Saturday.
on Saturday. And let's go back and then come forward a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your schooling and where else you've been playing basketball and that kind of thing. Some of the things you've encountered maybe.
I'm born and raised right here, up the street basically. Grew up on Adams, living on the beach, so just grew up right here, went to East High. Graduated from East High in 07, went to Kirkwood, won 2 national championships at Kirkwood back-to-back, and then went to Oregon State where for the last 2 years of schooling, which is in the Pac-10, got tied the block records at Oregon State, and then, tied the block record and the Pac-10, and I broke the record at Oregon State. Just got back in April from Romania, where had a very good rookie year, and now I'm getting ready to go to the Czech Republic.
All right. And how long will you be gone?
I'll go to Christmas, then I'll come back for like 2 weeks, and then I'll go again until April.
Okay. Would you share with us from, you're a young person, obviously born to be the next youngest, and here's Sharon
Even
and
at
I.
my
So
age.
we've got a broad base here of different ages. We have heard, and young people, I don't know whether it was 1 or 50 or 60 or whatever, but one of the complaints against the station is that it doesn't appeal to young people, because young people like rap. That's what they want, rap, and you know that we don't do rap. So
No, you don't. I only listen when I'm overseas for the Sunday morning broadcast, so I'm happy. Yeah, I listen to it on Sunday morning, so you get it on the internet. I'm glad that it's on there. A lot of people actually do listen to it, and so I'm glad for that, so I do actually listen. But I can't really speak for anyone but myself, and I'm very proud of the station, and I support you all the way, because my grandfather was here, and very, very proud sponsor of KBBG, and my dad works with you all the time. So your KBG is basically part of my family almost, so I support you all the way.
oh, you are, and that's what we were talking about earlier when I was indicating that if the kids don't know, how can they pass on something? How can I lead? It's like asking you to follow me and I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah, I'm laughing at you, I'm laughing because I'm thinking in my own household, we were doing a bit of remodeling in the kitchen, and so my husband wanted to move the radio. And I said, you can't move the radio, I need the radio there so that I can